Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. Today we are going to be doing something a little different. We are going to be doing a ranking video. Now this is something that I've wanted to do for years, and today we are going to be ranking every single Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies map. I've rated BO3 Zombies maps, BO2 Zombies maps, greatest Call of Duties from, Modern Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare all the way to Black Ops 6, in my notes. And finally, I want to be making YouTube videos about this. Now, we are going to be ranking Liberty Falls, Terminus, Citadel de Mor, The Tomb, Shattered Veil, and The Reckoning. I will be ranking these maps based on 6 different criteria, which are, number 1, how fun is the map? Are they replayable? Do I find myself wanting to play this map in a few years' time, like Terminus or Shattered Veil or The Reckoning or Citadel, like I do with BO3, with Gorod Krovi, Shadows of Evil, even Revelations with BO2 Origins and BO1 The Moon, or, Kino or Call of the Dead? Do I find myself wanting to play these maps in a few years? Number 2, how fun is the main Easter egg? Do I actually enjoy doing the Easter egg? Or is it more of a process just to get through and I'm going through the motions and I'm just trying to get it over with, like, some maps like Blood of the Dead where it's just impossible and it's not even fun. Number 3, how fun are the side Easter eggs? Something that has increased with zombie installations over time, which I have really appreciated, and how good the rewards are, because you didn't really see those in BO1 and not so much in BO2. It started happening a little bit more, but BO3 is where they really ramped it up, and now it's a staples in Call of Duty Zombies. Number 4, this is a big one for me. How good are the wonder weapons? Are they reoccurring wonder weapons, which I am not a huge fan of, or are they new and original? Even if they're not the best wonder weapons, do they make it particular for that map? Does it make it that map's identity, like the Sliquifier is for Die Rise, or as bad as the Winter's Hall is, that was always going to be 5's map? Number 5, the boss fight. How challenging is the boss fight? Is there even a boss fight, and how creative are they? Now, this is something that is now a staple in Call of Duty, and they almost have to bring this in with every single map if they're going to keep doing Easter eggs. And number 6, and finally, are the cutscenes. How good are they? Because in BO1, that's where it really started off with Takio, Nikolai, Dempsey, and Richtofen, and it has progressed into this whole world building with these characters. And now that these characters are gone, they started with Cold War. They didn't really have any characters, but now they have a set stone of characters, and how well has it progressed? We will be going through all of that, but first I do want to say, before I get into this, is that this is my own personal opinion. There is no right or wrong answer, and this is just what I think. This is what I believe is my ranking. My friends and I were discussing, our favorite maps, and almost all of us had different, maps put 1 through 6. And I want you to know that, whatever you guys think might not be the way that I think. So if you do have different opinions, let me know in the comments what is your favorite maps and why are they your favorite maps. But without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 6 is unfortunately Liberty Falls. Now, just to clarify, I don't hate this map. When it first came out, I did, and I used to call it Liberty Falls. I still do, but I thought this map was incredibly boring, and I just played to grind camos. I still believe that this map definitely has its issues, but I can appreciate this map a lot more for what it is, a casual, laid-back map. Every time a Call of Duty game comes out, you have 2 sets of maps at launch. One is more of a casual map, created for newer players, and a more hardcore veteran map, which is suited for players like me. You had it with every single Call of Duty iteration, with World at War having Knocked, which is a lot more casual, and Verrucht being a lot harder. BO1, Kino, and then 5 coming out right after it. BO2 had Transit, and then Town. BO3, you had Shadows of Evil, and then you had The Giant. Liberty Falls is that casual map. Terminus is the hardcore map. Now, with the main Easter egg, it's very simple. You just turn on the power, get the pack-a-punch, assemble the jet gun. Then, with the jet gun, you collect the 3 objects for the LTG, and then you put the canister on the trap, and you protect the LTG, and then when you protect the LTG, A Mangler or an Abomination will spawn, and you have to collect their souls in the trap. You bring the canister back to Pack-a-Punch room, and then you collect the Strauss canister, or you collect the Strauss counter, and you have to change the dials around the map and have to make it suited towards red, green, or yellow. Then you collect the second canister, and then you put the LTG on another area, and then another Abomination or Mangler will spawn, and you have to collect their soul through the trap. You put the canister back, and then you can go into the boss fight. Now, the boss fight is a bit of a disappointment. There really isn't one, and you have to go through waves of zombies. And there's this boss Mangler and a boss Abomination. It's not much stronger than the ones you killed in the canisters. It's a bit of a letdown, and the cutscene is not great. You go down, and then Panos collects your soul, and he escapes. There's also a glitch that happens to me, and it's happened to me multiple times, where you're trapped inside Pack-a-Punch, and you killed all the boss fights, you killed everyone, and there will be one zombie outside this little arena, and you can't kill him. It's very easy, and especially if you have the right setup, too. If you have Aetherella, and you have the jet gun, and you have all three Pack-a-Punch weapons, it's a cakewalk. Now, when it comes to the jet gun, it definitely got a big upgrade from what BO2 was. This is what the jet gun should have been after you assembled it in BO2. It does not break down like it did, and you have to gather all the parts all over again. It now shoots an explosive, which is a nice feature, and it's almost like a thunder gun, where it's just, get out of my way if you are in a tight situation. It could be upgraded 3 times as well. However, it is reused, but it's totally reimagined, so it definitely gets points in my book. As far as side Easter eggs go, this has some decent side Easter eggs. Not great, but solid. The best side Easter egg is building Aetherella, and if you want, you can bring her into the boss fight, which makes it even easier. All you have to do is collect all the pieces, and then bring Aetherella into the Pack-a-Punch room. She shoots laser out of her eyes, and she becomes indestructible for a limited amount of time. It's really cool and easy to do. There is also the bowling for cool rewards by shooting the bowling shoes around the map, getting a free Deadshot daiquiri by shooting the cans outside of the map, throwing a grenade at the top of the church in order to get free points, upgrade, and rarity tools. There are candles in the church where you have to use a fire mod where you can shoot those candles and fire will shoot down and damage the zombies. You can also have these features in every single map, which are the free power-ups. I love this feature, and I think that they should add this in BO7 as well. There's also the song Easter egg, which is pretty good, in my opinion. Let's talk about the worst feature, which has unfortunately been plagued throughout all of BO4 and all of BO6's life cycle, is the amount of boss fights. Every single round, sometimes I have to face up to 2 Abominations and multiple Manglers. It is very annoying, and I think that they should get rid of this feature for sure. Overall, I would give the map a 5.5 out of 10. Coming in at number 5 is the Tomb. I honestly thought about putting this map lower because this map was set up for greatness and they dropped the ball. After the Citadel de Mort cutscene, everyone was speculating that we were getting something as great as Origins or a setting like Origins. Unfortunately, that was not the case. And the only thing that was ever tied to Origins was the Ice Staff. Now, getting into the Ice Staff, I hate to say it, but I loved using this thing. In my opinion, I think it's better than the original from Origins. It just felt so out of place, though. They didn't have any other elemental wonder weapons. The only thing that came back was the Ice Staff. They should have had an original wonder weapon, and it just did not fit the map. I hate to say it, but I think that this is the reason why this map is replayable. I love the setting for this map. It's an underground city, kind of reminded me of Buried, and the Pack-a-Punch room is beautiful aesthetically. This map had a lot of potential to be great, and it just wasn't. Now, let's talk about the downsides. The map is very small. Not that having a small map is bad. I mean, town is small, but it's still really fun, and that's one of the best things in BO2 zombies. But I just don't really like the layout of this. You kind of just go into a circle, and then you have a Pack-a-Punch room. The Easter egg as well is very easy. All you do is just get the Ice Staff, and then you have to complete 4 rituals, and then you start the boss fight. The boss fight in this map, again, there really isn't a boss fight. You just fight a bunch of zombies and boss zombies. In the first 3 ways, you just crouch in the middle with your ice staff, you repeatedly use its ability, and once it stops with the lasers, it will start to levitate, you shoot them, and after those 3 rounds, the Sentinel artifact goes in these boss zombies. Once you kill the boss zombies, you shoot the artifact and a chunk of health gets taken out. The cutscene for this Easter egg as well is very lackluster. No one talks, you just grab the Sentinel artifact, you get out of the tomb, and you get told where you're going to next. That's it. Nothing happens, no story progression, nothing. Now the side Easter eggs. Side Easter eggs are really fun, and it has one of the best side Easter eggs of all time. And that's, you guessed it, the golden armor plate. What you do is you pick up 2 heads from the Pack-a-Punch room and place them in starting spawn statues. Once you start them, you get taken down to 1 HP, so you better hope that you have 3 shields. But there is a way to abuse the system. What you do is you get a score streak. I use the mutant injection. I used to run the chopper gunner, but the mutant injection is so much better. Right before you go into it, you hit your mutant injection, and all the doppelgas and boss zombies will come after you, and you kill them. It's very easy to abuse, but if you want to do it the original way, or the way it was intended, go at it. It's very hard, and you have to constantly be running. What the golden armor plate does is infinitely rebuilds your armor, so you never need to plate up, and you never even need to try to find or build more armor plates, which I love because in Bo6, having armor plates is a nuisance, and I think that they should get rid of it for Bo7. Now, there is a way to get a free rarity tool, and the rarity depends on what round you're on. If you're before round 11, you get a blue ether tool. If you go after round 11, you get a purple ether tool, and I think if it's after round 21, you get a legendary rarity tool. You shoot the 2 waterfalls with your ice staff, or you can use the cryo freeze ammo mod in the Pack-a-Punch room. You could also get a free upgrade if you go into the Pack-a-Punch room again, and you shoot 1 rock by the place where you build the ice staff. And rocks will start rotating, and you have to shoot them before it resets, and you get a free PAP1 crystal and a cryo freeze ammo mod. Overall, the side Easter eggs and wonder weapons really carry this map, and the boss fight is better than Liberty Falls in my opinion. So for those main reasons, that's why I put it above Liberty Falls, and I give this map maybe a 5.8 out of 10. Now coming in at number 4 is Citadel de Mor. This is where you see jumping quality, and this map is very visually pleasing, and it is even inspired by a real place, by the medieval city of, and I hope I say this right, Carcassonne, or Carcassonne, in France, and uses the architecture in real life. Now me, I'm a huge sucker for maps that are inspired by real life places like Mob of the Dead, which is Alcatraz, and the 4 people who escaped are real people. I mean, obviously their names aren't Weasel, Sal, and the people that we love from Mob of the Dead, but their actual names are Frank Morris and John and Clarence Anglin. They've disappeared on June 12th in 1962, and we don't even know if they survived or not. So that's why it's one of my favorite maps of all time. Horizondrock, which is inspired from the medieval castle in Werfen, Austria. Voyage of Despair, I know isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I love the fact that it was taken after the Titanic. The wonder weapons, now there are 4 of them. They're elemental wonder weapons. They were a little weak at launch. I still don't love them, but they've definitely gotten buffed, and they're pretty good now, especially with Melee Macchiato. There's the Raven, Light, Fire, and Lightning Sword. In order to obtain the swords after round 10, special zombies will appear with buckets on their head, and when you kill them, they'll drop a stamp, and you bring the stamp to each of the knights. The light sword is very easy to obtain. Bright parasites will appear. When you pick up the sword, you have to kill the bright parasites with your sword, and then you bring them to the door, and you hit them on the door by speed cola. Once you pick up all 4, you interact with the door, and you go down a hallway. 4 of the symbols will appear, and you have to shoot the one that corresponds with the sword. Once you hit all 4, you have the upgraded light sword. Now the fire sword needs to be taken upstairs by Jug. Once you interact with all the 3 cauldrons, 2 of them will be by spawn, and 1 of them will be by Melee Macchiato, and you have to bring them back to the dragon. The Raven Sword, you have to pick up an artifact by the alchemy lab, right by the knight statues, and then you have to go back to spawn to an underground cellar, where you will insert the sword and the artifact, and you have to unlock a code. Once you do that, a portal will spawn, And you have to bring the purple balls to the portal, and once you do that 3 times, you can pick up the Raven Sword. And the Lightning Sword, very simple, you have to pick up 3 rods. One is by Deadshot, the second is by Speed Cola, where you have to shoot a box with a Dead Wire ammo mod, and the third is obtained underneath the jail cell by Quick Rebut, and there will be a zombie holding the rod. Once you kill the zombie, you pick up all 3, you bring them to this vase near Elemental Pop, and once the sword is electrified, you have to hit the base 3 times, and then you have the lightning sword. The best, in my opinion, is the light sword. It gives you shields as you are killing the zombies. The second best, in my opinion, is the raven sword, followed by the fire sword, and the worst is lightning. Now, the layout is great. Being outside, being in the underground area, inside the castle, you have the night area. And best of all, the Wonder Weapon doesn't even take away a gun slot, so you can have 2 fully maxed out guns and an upgraded sword. So you really do feel unstoppable with all the perks in the game as well. The main Easter egg is one of the longest Easter eggs, with having to get the stamps to start the upgrade, to process each sword. If you have 4 players, this setup can be very easy, very quick, but if you're on the solo, wow, it is a very long process. After you're done with the sword upgrades, you need to get the 4 ritual items, collect the souls, and you need to collect 4 pages by stamina up. You need to go to spawn to find the 6 symbols. Once you have the 6 symbols memorized, you need to go underground and hit the wall with melee macchiato. You put in the 6 symbols and a little book will open, and that's where you put the 4 pages. You need to activate the 4 traps scattered across the map in a particular order corresponding with the pages. After that, you then need to interact with the knights with each sword in a particular order with the elementals. After that, an orb will drop down and you have to do 4 challenges. Most of them have to be done with the swords, except for one of them by Vulturade. And then finally, you can place the orb in the room by stamina up, and pick up the Guardian Key and place it in spawn where the final boss is. The boss is one of the best boss fights in zombie history, in my opinion. You fight a giant stone golem called the Guardian that is very challenging, and the only boss that I'm the most concerned of out of all Black Ops 6 Zombies bosses, because I'm afraid that sometimes I won't succeed, most times I do, but he is very fast, and if you are not careful, he will kill you. He comes in with a bunch of critical hits, with his fireballs, slamming his sword down, slamming his foot, and for a big stone guy, he's very fast. So, in terms of side Easter eggs, they're fun, but they're very limited. You get to interact with the radio after round 12 with Maya by Vulturade, and once you interact with the radio, you can go into a room defeating some special zombies and doppelgas, and you kill this man named Frank who took Maya's brother. Then you get a legendary GS-45. You can also get up to 4 free perks, one by doing free PhD Flopper. You'll find 3 bottles scattered across the map and serve drinks to zombies, where you can also get free essence. The way to get the second perk is you need to go down where you got the symbols, and you need to interact with every tactical elemental on the wall, and you will go through a couple waves of the undead, and you get free rewards, free perks, and even a free Ethereum crystal. You can. It's not guaranteed, though. For the third perk, you need to shoot Mr. Peaks in 4 different locations. He spawns in those same locations every single time. The 4th way to get a free perk, it's not guaranteed, but you have to collect rats. The more rats you find, the better your rewards are going to be. You can get ammo mods, rarity tools, crystals, essence, perks, guns, and a Rat King crown. There's also a way to get 10,000 free points. What you're going to want to do is have Vulturade and then interact with the Wishing Well until Vermin pops out by Speed Cola. After that, you have to wait during a special round and then throw a grenade down there. 10,000 points will spawn up. You can use double points to double that money, or you can give it to a friend. Similar to Etherella, you also get a free chest piece to protect you, and of course you have the free power-ups around the map and the songs. Now, in terms of the cutscene, this was probably the best cutscene we've gotten through Black Ops 6 Zombies, if not for the Terminus cutscene, because you find out that Kraft is Richtofen's father, and he said you have to bring the artifact to the excavation site. And when he said the excavation site, the only other place where there are excavation sites are Origins. So you thought that you were getting something like Origins, or you were getting updated version or reimagined version of Origins. And then the Tomb came out and everyone was disappointed. So I'm not going to put it down for that, but it does just leave a stain on this map just a tiny bit. Now, when this map first came out, it was beloved and people said that it was one of the best zombie maps to ever come out. I wasn't on that train, and in terms of recency bias, everyone now seems to have this map worn off and they don't like it as much. I still think it's a good map. I'm going to be putting this map at a 7 to 7.5 out of 10.
So now we are getting into some of my favorites. And number 3 is The Reckoning. When I first played this map, the first few days, it really was not meshing well for me. I found it to be similar to Die Rise, which is my least favorite Treyarch map of all time. But the more I started to play it, I found more ways to appreciate it. A lot more for their Easter egg, the boss fight, all the side Easter eggs, very particularly with the layout. And I know my way around the map a lot better than when I first played it. It was very, very confusing. It took me a couple hours to learn about the entire map, and it took a few days to actually kind of master the map. So doing the Easter egg is very fun. You have to find the Klaus eggs in the machinery room. The arms only appear on special rounds. However, you can get them sooner by doing the Forsaken step that spawns in an Uber Klaus for the Gorg effects, or acquiring the Gorg effects. You also have the periodic table for deciphering the code, the mini-boss fights, the Forsaken step. And yes, the Uber Klauses can be a little annoying, but I like them so much more than them spawning in 7 Manglers, or the Shock Mimics, or the constant Doppelgast. They spawn in so much less frequently, and remind me more of a Brutus or Panzer round. The worst part about this map for me, hands down, is the keycard, because if you are not careful and you kill the geneticist outside of the pharmacy lab or the machinery lab, it will be such a pain to find this. The first day that I played this map, it took me over an hour to find, and sometimes when I'm doing the Reckoning Easter egg with some of my friends and they kill the geneticist outside of that lab, it takes a while to find, and it's very painful. Now the layout of this map. When I said that the Reckoning reminds me of Die Rise, it's because of the verticality, and even though I think this map already has a better layout overall, let me show you one thing that makes this map so much more significantly better than Die Rise. No fall damage. This augment is on stamina up, and it should be on PhD flopper, but who the hell cares? You can still equip it. Having no fall damage jumping off this map is one of my favorite parts about this map, and is the biggest diss to Die Rise. I don't even use fast travel. And speaking of fast travel, this is how you do it correctly. It's much better than Shattered Veil. There's multiple places where you can teleport, and it makes this map flow so well because you can get from spawn all the way to Pack-a-Punch in a matter of seconds. It's very convenient. And the side Easter eggs are some of my favorite side Easter eggs in all of Black Ops 6 Zombies. You have the Mr. Peaks free Easter egg with going in the little circles and getting free essence. The second way to get a perk is tedious, so if you don't have 4 players, it's very difficult because you have to get 20,000 points or 2,000 points, and each zombie's worth 10 points, and you can only do it like once a round. You have the golden trash can, which can be very fun and can give you some really good rewards. You have to find at least 4 out of the 7 trash cans, and then you could get the golden trash can, and it will give you a bunch of great rewards. The target practice side Easter egg at spawn is probably my favorite side Easter egg in BO6 Zombies. You could do it up to 3 times on 3 different rounds for 3 different rewards. The first time you complete it, you get an ammo mod. The second time you complete it, you get a rarity tool. If you do it before round 11, it will be a blue rarity tool. If you do it after round 11, it will be a purple rarity tool. If you do it after round 21, it will be a legendary rarity tool. The third time is definitely the most challenging with 3 discs moving at once. You shoot all 3 of them. Before round 16 there will be a Pack-a-Punch 1 crystal. After round 16 there will be a Pack-a-Punch 2 crystal. I don't think it goes any higher than that though. You could also get a free self-revive by the pool table if you shoot the balls off the rack 1-1-5. You are also able to acquire the Ether Blade from Modern Warfare Zombies. Unfortunately, only one person can have it. First, what you need to do is have the Mr. Peaks field upgrade. Then, you need to find the 3 pictures around the map, and it will give you 1500 essence total. 3000 if you have double points. Next, if you use RCXD underneath Sam and detonate the purple crystal, a little portal will spawn above with multiple crystals and you have to shoot them. Once you shoot all of them, a golden safe key will drop and you have to bring it over to the picture where you activated the red button for the teleporter and activate Mr. Peaks with your field upgrade. Once you do that, an Elder Disciple will appear with multiple zombies and you have to kill all the zombies with the Elder Disciple. Once you kill them, you can now pick up the Ether Blade. It will guarantee 3 kills, and a great augment to have with the Ether Blade is the minor augment Hot Foot with stamina up. It gives you a significant speed boost if you kill the enemies with your equipment, and you are flying. There are also the 2 upgrades for the Gorg effects. There's the C upgrade and the N upgrade. You must first get the base Gorg effects by defeating the Forsaken. You get the Gorg effects by deciphering the code and sucking the soul out of the plants and activating the power surge. Then the Uber Klaus will spawn and you have to shoot the 2 discs on each shoulder and bring him on the platform. He will then turn into the Forsaken, and once you kill him, you interact with the light beam and it will give you the base Gorg effects. In my opinion, the Gorg effects N is better than the Gorg effects C. First, what you're going to want to do is go to the Executive Suite and interact with Blanchard's store to start the quest. Then you go to the Infected Spore Room, I don't know the name, that's just what I call it, and pick up the Strauss counter and use it to pick up the green vial across the map. You then pick up 3 parts. One is by Speed Cola, the other is by Samantha next to the Arsenal machine. The third part is in the room where you decipher the periodic table. You take all 3 parts and build them at Blanchard's door, and once he dies, you pick up the vial. You will be consistently damaged as long as you have the vial, and you have to bring it into the room where you solve the periodic table and build the Gorg effects N. It shoots a similar acid type to the Raygun Mark II variant from Shattered Veil, but is much more consistent, and it will shoot every single time you use the special ability by holding down on the trigger pad, and is a pretty decent wonder weapon. It can also be upgraded 3 times. You also need the Gorg effects for the main Easter egg. You need to interact with the red button in Pack-a-Punch and shoot 5 blue vermin and interact with the blue ball with your Gorg effects, and you need to bring the Gorg effects to the special teleporter room and use your charge shot in the purple crystal to turn on that teleporter. You also need the Gorg effects to shoot the zombie head in the spore room. You need to bring the zombie head in the yellow bucket where the water is filled up. Once you pick it up, you need to collect souls, and once you collect enough souls, you then bring it over to the special teleporter room where you shot the charged Gorg effects. Personally, I really like this wonder weapon. I love that it's an original wonder weapon, first of all. Second, if you're strategic about this and have the Gorg effects N, it really is a great wonder weapon, but some people just aren't strategic about it, and that's why they don't like it. I think that you can get to really high rounds with it. Now, the main boss fight, this is the first time you have 2 people to choose from, which is the first time that you have 2 boss fights. You can either help Richtofen or you can help Sam. I do not like helping Richtofen because of how easy the boss fight is for Sam. Her attacks are very basic. She has the spinning attack where she shoots little electrical charges. For the first phase, you go right directly underneath her and she will not hit you. The second phase, you stay outside by the railing, and for the third phase, you just gotta find a little pocket where she won't shoot her electrical charges. And she will also have a laser attack where once that is over, you have to shoot the 4 little golden things in between her eyes. And once you shoot all 4 of those, you shoot her in the eye. And if you shoot her in the eye, she takes a lot of critical damage. Now, Richtofen, he was near impossible when this map first came out, but with everything, you have a strategy. What you want to do is, if you have 4 people, you want to run Ether Shroud with the Augment Group Shroud. And what that does is that affects every single one of your teammates where all of you guys have Ether Shroud. Player 1 pops his Ether Shroud, and all of you shoot Richtofen. Once that Ether Shroud is up, then the second person pops it, and then the third person pops it, and then the fourth person pops it. And when the fourth person pops their Ether Shroud, the first player pops their Power Kick, and the process starts all over again, and you shoot Richtofen until he is dead. Now, when it comes to the cutscene, I was very indifferent. I didn't like that it felt like a cheap gimmick bringing back the OG Primus crew. I do like that they have all the original actors apart from Takeo because he retired from voice acting, but I want to see what they do in Black Ops 7. It kind of just felt like a cheap gimmick. I kind of enjoyed it because I think that there is potential there. I want to see where it goes. Personally, I like helping Richtofen more. After you kill Samantha, his family does come back, and that's a very sweet and touching moment. Whereas if you help Samantha, once you kill Richtofen, the orb then dies out, and she turns into a human, and you see little purple glow in her eyes. Overall, I would give this map a solid 8 out of 10.
Welcome to the party.
Now this is where we truly get into the S tier maps. Coming in at number 2 is Terminus. Personally, Terminus is some of the most fun I've ever had playing COD Zombies, and brought me back 10 plus years ago when we were playing BO3 Zombies, BO2, BO1. This was so cared for and had so much passion put into this map. You can feel it. First, I want to get into the atmosphere. This map is huge. There are 3 side mini islands and 1 main island. Now, unless you are doing the side Easter eggs or main Easter eggs, possibly even hitting the mystery box, but I doubt it, or past round 25 when you have to get on the boat and get the Wonder Fizz. The point is, you don't really need to leave the main island if you are a casual player and just want to play this for fun, because you have Pack-a-Punch, you have Speed Cola, Jug, PhD Flopper. You have all the perks that you need on the main island, and if you are just in this for a casual game, you don't need to leave the main island, and it's a fun place to train. Now, in terms of side Easter eggs, underneath the water there are these crates that can give you guns, essence, perks, upgrade crystals, rarity tools, and tactical and lethal equipment. There are multiple ways that you can get free perks. One of them is by shooting the zombies in the cage by Pack-a-Punch. Then when you wait until next round, you have to shoot the vermin in the cages, and then on the third round, you shoot manglers in the cage, and you can get a free perk. The second way to get a free perk is by shooting these spores on the rocks around the island. Each round they will change, and when you shoot them, a bunch of parasites will come out, and on the third round, when the spores come, it will always be inside Speed Cola, and you can get upgrade crystals, you can get rarity tools, and you can get a free perk as long as other cool rewards. There's also a way you can get a Mega Stuffy similar to Etherella and the chest piece. You can also get a free wonder weapon with the Void Cannon. You have to shoot the 2 electrical grids and wait until the next round, and then you have to activate the Void Cannon. It will shoot down a UFO, and there will be a bunch of rewards by the blue ball where you had to get the Beam Smasher. A way to get guaranteed free perks and essence is by getting a Molotov or an explosive item and shooting down the cage that has the crabs in it on Crab Island. You then hit the crab with the bat, and you have 30 seconds to hit as many crabs as you can, and it will offer you a free perk. Then on the other side of the map on Crab Island, you have to do the exact same thing again, and it will give you essence. There's also a way to get a free 2,000 points with a basketball across the multiphasic injection room. You can get an oxygen tank that will make you spend longer underwater, a cursed talisman where you can double your points, but you can also lose your points if you get hit, free power-ups, and in the elevator you have a jump scare. You can also get a free perkaholic. That is the only side quest that I haven't done because you have to shoot like 50 fish with an explosive. So there's a way to get at least 4 free perks minimum. The side Easter eggs with their quantity and quality are some of the best in the entire game, with only the Reckoning, in my opinion, competing with that spot. The main Easter egg, now that it's been out for a year and so many people have new strategies to make it go by faster, and some speedrunners can even do it in less than 10 minutes, which is just insane.
It is still a very respectable Easter egg quest going for regular zombies goers. In order to complete the Easter egg, you have to have the Beam Smasher either through the side quest or through the mystery box. Once you have the Beam Smasher, you can activate a trap, and you will know which trap it is because there will be an ID on the ground. You have to shoot the Beam Smasher at the trap, and it will give you a hard drive. You have to bring that hard drive to Peck, and once you give the hard drive to Peck, you can then unlock the code to Nathan. Nathan is the first mini boss fight of the game, and I advise that you have your guns packed to level 2 or have a high rarity. Once you kill him, there will be a cutscene, and you have to go into the water and pick up a card. After that, you have to go to the computer and interact with it. Then you have to go to the boat and pick up the node connectors, and there will be a lockdown. Once you complete the lockdown, a max ammo will appear, and you could leave. You have to put the 2 node connectors back into place, and you have to pick up a laptop from Peck. You have to hack the 3 buoys. Then, where you killed Nathan, you have to defuse the 3 bombs. Then you can go into the boss fight.
No! My warhead! God damn it!
The boss fight, which was once pretty difficult when it first came out, but then guns were added like the Maelstrom and the perk Double Tap have kind of ruined the boss fight, making it a cakewalk. And if it was difficult when it first came out, it would have kept this map at a higher ranking, but now it's kind of just impossible to overlook those. And the same can be said for Nathan, but even if you have triple packed and a high rarity, it is very easy. The Beam Smasher is also a very unique original wonder weapon that they brought into this game, and I love it. Just like the Gorg effects, it can be very good. You have 2 unique abilities, the first being able to shoot a laser and the other being able to stun it. Now if you use both abilities, first stunning then shooting the laser, this gun is incredible. It's a very unique wonder weapon and great for this particular map. The cutscene is also one of the few cutscenes that I enjoyed throughout Bo6 Zombies, and it was interesting. Modi killed Nathan, Maya wants revenge. Patient 13 kills Modi, Peck is mad that he doesn't get his warheads, then they travel to Citadel. Nothing spectacular, but it sets up the world decently, and it keeps you a little interested to what's happening next. This is what you want from every Zombies map, especially starting off and it being their first map. Swung and they knocked it out of the park. I would give this map a solid 8.5 out of 10. That means coming in at number 1 has got to go to Shattered Vale. This map is peak. Not only the best map on Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies, but one of the best Treyarch maps of this decade. It is better than any Cold War map by far, and even going back farther, it's better than most BO4 maps. Maybe excluding 9 and Ancient Evil, but those are really the only 2. This map has a great atmosphere, being in a mansion with a huge underground bunker. There are little parts of the map that you can open or blow up and have secret codes. There's a lot of replayability on this. The main Easter egg is very fun. First, you have to open the elevator, and after round 10, similar to the Reckoning, if you are underground, watch out for the lab technician because he will drop the keycard, and it is very difficult to find if you lose track of him. Next, you have the bell step, which is a little annoying sometimes because the glass doesn't fully break if you throw a nade in there, so you have to individually break every single piece of glass and interact with that piece of glass that you've broken in order to find the bell. Can be a little tedious. Then you have the 3 canisters. One can be unlocked with the Casimir by double tap, the second is underground with the combat axes, and the third is shot with the ray gun Mark II variant with the blue crystals around the map. You need to have the ray gun Mark II and upgrade each variant, having to do a trial for each variant. The worst upgrade process is the ray gun Mark W, which is the blue full auto ray gun. Having to get the Abomination to shock each rock, then run into it. It's just a bunch of waiting and hoping that the Abomination will use this special attack. The step after it is not so bad, having to defend the portal from the vermin. It's definitely the best variant by far, in my opinion, shooting full auto, and it's the best against the boss fight. The yellow ray gun variant is a lot more fun than the blue variant. You have to find 4 mushrooms around the map and shoot it with an explosive gun, ray gun Mark II, or an explosive equipment. Next, you have to plant the mushrooms in and defend them from the zombies. The yellow variant, similar to the Gorg effects, it shoots acid for its special ability, but it is kind of inconsistent, so that is why it is not my favorite. The purple ray gun shoots a shotgun, and to unlock it, you have to find a bomb in a white box and bring it underground, blow up a part of the map. You then need to kill a series of doppelgas with some light reflections that are found with the fountains by Quick Revive and PhD Flopper. Then you could go to all the trials. For each ray gun variant, you could start the trial by interacting with the pictures. For the ray gun Mark W, you have to find a sconce by the elevator and place it to the other light by Jug and the T-Rex. You then play Simon Says, the wall opens up, and you interact with the picture, collect souls with the blue ray gun variant, and after that you will have to have the brain rot for one of your guns and go to the bar and place the bell down. You then shoot a zombie until he is green, you ring the bell and he will give you a flask. The trial will begin, and you have to kill the mangler with the shield around him with the blue ray gun Mark II variant. You then pick up the Sentinel artifact, and then you have to do 2 more trials. The trial for the yellow variant, again, very fun. You have to use Ether Shield and go to multiple locations finding 3 pieces of paper. Once you find those 3 pieces of paper, you then interact with the glowing book, and part of the bookshelf comes down. You then pick up the piece of paper, and then you can go into the mini boss fight. You then have to kill the amalgam and destroy the shield with the yellow ray gun variant and pick up the Sentinel artifact. The purple ray gun shotgun variant, once you've collected all the souls for the picture, you then go into the picture and pick up a bottle and interact with 3 different cups and kill the Elder Disciples. Once you kill all 3 Elder Disciples, you can then look across the 3 numbers across the elevator for the safe near-death perception. You then pick up the piece, and you have to go to the picture frame again and fight the mini-boss fight. And shocker, it's an Elder Disciple. Once you kill it, you can then go into the boss fight. The Z-Rex, again, might be one of the greatest boss fights in Zombies history with the Guardian. He is challenging, he is fast, his tail can be fatal, and having Richtofen assist you in battle where you can drop plates, and even a self-revive if you go down, just adds so much more to the boss fight. He has 3 challenges, where the first 2 are not nearly as difficult as the last phase, but the third phase, the second he locks eyes on you, he will not stop until he has at least hit you with his tail or bites you. He is very challenging with the third and final phase, and you do have to be prepared with at least a PAP 3 gun and gold rarity, and you and a teammate should have one of the wonder weapons. Now, there is a harder version of this where if you go into round 100, there is something called hardcore, or an enraged version, where the Z-Rex is just a lot faster and more aggressive. The arena will be filled with a green foggy atmosphere, and it will signal the special mode. It will have persistent acid pools and more aggressive zombies. The only downside that if you want to do this challenge, you have to go to round 100. There's no way around it, or to activate the special round without getting to round 100. Now, there are 2 cutscenes. The first one is great. You find out that Samantha is trying to get her body back, and she then betrays you, and you have to work with Richtofen in order to escape. The Z-Rex then grabs onto your Jeep, throws it into the arena, and that is where you have the boss fight. The second cutscene is nothing special. You just have to kind of trust Richtofen and bring you to Janus Towers, where you will be going into the Reckoning. Now, unfortunately, with the downsides, these are reused Wonder Weapon variations from Black Ops 4 Alpha Omega. I do think it fits well with this map, and I love using the Ray Gun Mark IIs. They are classic Wonder Weapons, but it does suffer from not having any originality with them. They also bring back the Wonder Waff, which is incredible, especially with a Vulture Aid and Depth Perception, where you can have unlimited ammo, so this might be the best iteration of the Wonder Waff to date. You can also get it via the mystery box or the quest from doing the side Easter egg. The side Easter eggs are another thing lacking from this map. Very, very limited side quests to do. It has gotten better with some updates, but besides getting the free Wonder Waff, you hit the bell 115 times to get a free perk. It's a little too much, but I do like the sentiment. The sleepwalking step, where you interact with the clock on round 11 and then go to Richtofen's bed and lay down where all the zombies will be asleep, and you have to pick up a key, and once you pick up the key, you can then get some great rewards and a guaranteed perk. There's also the Sam's Laser Trap, Donut, the Friendly Doppelgas, the Jump Scare, the Legendary PAP 3 Shotgun, free power-ups, and in my opinion, the best one is the fog rolling in, where if you shoot a certain amount of crystals, it will upgrade your guns and rarity. There are so many things to appreciate about this map, despite its flaws. Overall, I'm still giving this map a solid 9 out of 10, and I would say it's one of the greatest zombie maps of all time. Overall, I still think Black Ops 6 Zombies was a great experience and refined so much better from Cold War. I think that there needs to be some changes in order to make Black Ops 7 even better, and I will be making a video on that very shortly as well. You just have to take the good and the bad. There are so many complaints about older zombies, but we look past them because of nostalgia, like with World at War, with how sticky some of the zombies are, or with Doris, how you can lose Jug. With Black Ops 1, you can talk about how horrible the boss fights were with the Nova Crawlers, or the Astronaut, or George Romero, or the Shrieking Zombies from Shangri-La, or how bad some of the maps were in BO2 with Transit and Die Rise, or even BO3. Actually, there is really nothing wrong with BO3. Maybe you can complain about how many perks there were, but BO3 is kind of perfect. BO4 definitely has its flaws, but overall, I would probably give this Zombies experience, I would say maybe a 7.5 out of 10. The boss fights were some of the best from the franchise. The graphics are better than ever. The side Easter eggs are some of the best we've ever had, like the golden armor plate, free PAP crystals. There still needs to be a lot of work, like I said. I hope you ladies and gentlemen enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. Peace.